Going live, and then let's see. Right. Okay. So we're live, and we're in the our church's back garden because we're based at John Bunyan in Oxford. And what I'm here to speak about, and what I'm here to do, is introduce you to David Boutte, friend of mine. We've known each other for years. Okay, too long to mention. Um, and we're here to speak about a set of workshops that have been launched, which are about the myths that gave us Tolkien's monsters from Lord of the Rings. Okay. And the only way you can actually create and understand those monsters, for those of you that look at the stories and want to know where the inspiration came from, or for those of you that would like to write in that style, you have to understand the mythology and the mythologies that Tolkien pulled from to create his Middle Earth landscape, or in the case of C.S. Lewis, how he created Narnia. Um, all of that stuff is done through understanding the Bible and the exegesis in the Bible that you need to do to be able to come up with the constructs in the first place. So this goes beyond thou shalt not kick your cat. This isn't that. You should have graduated beyond that, and then be able to understand the Bible so that you can then pull out these ideas and these archetypes that gave C.S. Lewis um, and Tolkien, along with some of the world's best fantasy writers, the ability to come up with the ideas that they came up with. And I've been speaking with David for a fair few months now about him teaching on that subject. Because if I get you to sit down around a campfire, so to speak, there's a load of stuff that will come out of your mouth that wouldn't come out of your mouth if I put you on a preacher's podium.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. So the idea is to put you in a workshop setting where people can be with you, maybe around a barbecue or wherever it happens to be, but an informal setting where what's in your head comes out of your mouth. And a lot of people, they're all afraid of technology and, oh, I'm not a writer and so on. It's not about being a writer, because now, and I was just reading an advert yesterday, there's a computer company that's now selling laptops with AI built into the laptop. So this goes way beyond the internet. It goes way beyond VR that came out a few years ago and all these new technological innovations. And so I want the people who are viewing to imagine a world where, when you're looking at a Tolkien who came from Oxford, C.S. Lewis, who came from Oxford, if in their time they had access to the technologies that we had now, you could follow their stories and see their inspiration and where they got their monsters from and how they came up with their ideas. Because the technology to deliver those ideas and archetypes would be commonplace. They are now, because this, what I'm filming now, is being filmed on a laptop. It's not being done on a phone. Neither is it being done on one of my massive cameras. We're doing this on a laptop, and soon, because we've got AI empowered uh, laptops from some of the world's biggest laptop manufacturers, you'll be able to look at a TV show, see a monster, and type in, whilst you're looking at the TV show, where did the inspiration for that monster come from, and they'll give you the architecture. If you want to be ahead of that curve, then you need to know what David has in his head, so that if you're writing those ideas or you want to come up with an idea, the seed for those ideas comes from being someone who is a biblical scholar. Beyond Sunday school, you're not saying, thou shalt not kick the cat. This isn't that. This is something else. And so you do a lot of what I'd call thou shalt not kick the cat based theology. And there are people who I speak to now and again, who, when you listen, they say, oh, I've been to church and I've been going to church for 30 years. And when you listen to what comes out of their mouth, you're having to say, so you've been in Sunday school for 30 years, because all that comes out of their mouth is Sunday school level basics. And Apostle Paul made a statement. He goes, you lot have been around. I'm paraphrasing the scripture that he said. He goes, some of you guys have been around long enough, but you should be teachers by now.
They've never graduated from the milk.
Yeah.
And they don't eat meat.
Right. So if you haven't never graduated from the milk, then you can't write a C.S. Lewis or a Tolkien-esque type story because you don't understand the materials.
Yeah, I think that the myths and legends that we have always come to know them as, that we found...
Pick up the laptop.
That we found from the writers of the likes of the Lord of the Rings, have their basis in truth. The myths and legends of antiquity.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is they've stayed in that realm for the most part, and we've probably been taught over the years, especially in film, that these are just the things of mythology, that there is no basis in truth. However, when you read through the pages of the Bible and you look at it through the lens of what we now understand to be, especially if I just might say that in the Book of Enoch, which isn't a canonized book, however, it's a book that the Second Temple Jews understood that, or it gave them an understanding of what was going on during that period of time, which we look in the book of Genesis in chapter 6. They understood that the monsters that were myths and legends were in fact a reality. It's just that those things have been obfuscated, and we don't any longer see them as being a reality, but rather just the things conjured up in film, from the Greek mythology to the Roman mythology, and so that we look at them through the lens of modern day filmmaking, modern day science fiction, modern day fantasy, but we don't ever look at it. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, keep going. Just keep going.
We don't ever look at it that the truths that are in there. Sorry, Derek.
Go on. Yes, all right.
Sorry, I've just lost my train of thought.
The truths that are in the Old Testament. No, because it is live. So what we record is what we get.
So that the truths of the Old Testament are...
Keep going, just keep going.
That the truths of the Old Testament are, in fact, real truths. However, we don't see them as that because they're never taught. And then when people do teach them, it's never looked upon as being truth, but rather mythology. Sorry.
Well, okay. Well, what we'll do is we're going to bring this session to a close, because in a nutshell, what I'm doing here is really opening up the basis for you understanding what you want to get involved with our myths and legends workshops, because once you understand the archetypes from which these myths and legends are built, you then have the tools to then go on to write the stories or view the stories. And with an understanding that we now have AI in laptops as part of a new normal, an explanation of where certain myths and monsters come from will be accompanying the films that we look at. And the people who are better at doing it before these ideas in terms of how laptop technology gives us these understandings, those people at the head of the game will be the ones that will be leading in that filmmaker's world. And I'm not saying they're going to have better because they're first, but if you understand what you're doing, you have a better chance at staking your claim as a forerunner in this new world of myths and legends storytelling. So with that brings this session to a close. This is Derek James signing off, and there'll be an edited version of this with some pretty pictures in it. So see you guys soon.
Thank you. Sorry, Derek.
No.
As they were talking, I kept losing.
No.